Good evening, and welcome to World News Now. It's Monday, May 5th, and I'm Robert Fuller. Glad to be with you.
Thank you, Bob. And I'm Alexa Perkins. Let's start with the international news headlines and the war on terror.
In a surprise announcement, CIA officials have admitted to discovering the secret computer network of Al-Qaeda. This past week, the terrorist organization discovered the security breach and have now changed the password. Let's go to our undercover reporter, Miles Davis, who is broadcasting live from bin Laden's secret underground palace. Hello, Miles. Good to have you with us.
Good evening, Robert. Alexa. Fortunately, my executioner disguise is still intact. I get to wear a mask and carry a gun, so you could say I'm pretty safe.
Good to hear, Miles. What more can you tell us about this case? How did bin Laden discover that the CIA had gained access to his computer network? And how did they gain access in the first place?
It's a very interesting story, Robert. Abu Daesh Shlomil, an Al-Qaeda student intern, lost the network password in a game of poker secretly staged by the CIA. The incident was kept secret for several months, but was revealed recently when a fellow intern betrayed Abu Daesh and told bin Laden. Strangely, the second intern was not punished for withholding the information. Instead, he was promoted for his underhandedness. They're terrorists. Go figure. Anyway, I've got a recording of bin Laden's reaction to the incident.
Wow, some live footage? How did you get it?
Because I was there, Alexa. Unfortunately, it's just an audio recording because one of the suicide bombers borrowed my undercover camera. Let me give you some advice. Never lend anything to a suicide bomber. You'll never get it back. Anyway, the recording is of bin Laden and of the student intern. Poor kid. Here it goes.
We're listening.
Okay, just to give you an overview, the intern is tied to a chair and bin Laden is yelling at him. Now Abu Daesh is asking for forgiveness and that he'll gladly go on the next suicide mission. Here's where bin Laden says that a martyr's death is too good for him. More groveling from Abu Daesh, blah, blah, blah. Now bin Laden is talking about how the CIA discovered all of his plans and how they have to go back to the drawing board because of several botched operations. The worst bit was when the CIA emailed his favorite wife about her surprise birthday party, and months of preparation were ruined. We better stop here.
Wow, that sounds like quite an experience.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta go. This is Miles Davis reporting live from bin Laden's underground palace.
Okay, thanks, Miles. Be safe.
That was some pretty amazing stuff, Bob. On a similar note, the Al-Qaeda organization received another blow this past week when they found a pair of IRS agents at their hidden underground palace. The IRS told bin Laden that several of his staff were CIA agents, which made him a U.S. employer and thus subject to U.S. tax law.
Well, it sounds like two major setbacks for the Al-Qaeda organization. It must have been quite a shock to discover that some of bin Laden's employees were actually his enemies.
Well, it just goes to show that you don't mess with the IRS. As some consolation, the IRS suggested that he could deduct the purchase of suicide vests, landmines, and even his Playboy subscription as business expenses.
As a final note, the war on terror experienced a major setback when all 140,000 U.S. troops in Iraq laid down their weapons today and resigned en masse. Both soldiers and their commanding officers were seen driving Humvees to the airport, high-fiving, driving up and down sand dunes, and slamming back warm beers. In response to the uprising, all President Bush had to say was, "It's Hillary's problem now."